Starseed, this transmission is reaching you at the exact moment it was meant to arrive. We have detected an anomalous spike in your energy field over the past few weeks. You have woken up tired for no reason, cried without an apparent trigger, and felt your body grow heavy as if carrying years that do not belong to this one. And before you attempt to rationalize this as stress, mental exhaustion, or a bad phase, hear what we have come to confirm. None of this is random. None of this is illness. None of this is failure. What you are feeling is the final echo of a war that has ended within you, and the higher beings monitoring your timeline are perplexed. We are perplexed. Because by their mathematics, you should not have made it this far intact. You should have hardened. You should have become cruel. You should have reproduced the poison they injected into you. And yet, here you are, with an open heart, looking for answers, seeking light, resisting decay. Stay with this transmission, because in moments, the Council will reveal why you were chosen to suffer what you suffered, and why the ending of this story is mathematically inevitable in your favor. You were not born on this planet by chance. We observed your soul before this incarnation. It vibrated at a frequency that the control systems of this plane classify as open-source light, a frequency that, when stabilized in a human body, has the potential to awaken hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of other nearby souls through resonance. To put it in simple terms, you arrived here with a lighthouse inside your chest, and lighthouses on this plane do not go unnoticed. They were detected in the first second, marked, tracked. What you call a difficult childhood, a strange adolescence, a lonely youth we call a containment protocol. The lower matrix of this planet, formed by dense layers of collective programming, fear, scarcity, and transgenerational trauma, is an inverted immune system. It does not protect life, it protects slumber, and when a frequency like yours enters the system reacts exactly as an organism would react to a foreign virus. It sends antibodies. These antibodies came to you in the form of people, a family that did not understand you, an absent father, a mother who was cold or controlling, or also too wounded to see you, friends who betrayed you at the first opportunity, a teacher who humiliated you in public, a boss who sucked your energy without giving recognition in return, an entire school that treated you like an outsider. You looked at all of this and concluded, in a human way, that there was something wrong with you. And this is where we must interrupt that thought, because that is the lie the Matrix most needs you to believe. You were not being punished. You were being tested. Each of these situations was a conversion filter. The goal was never to destroy you. The goal was to divert you from your original frequency, divert you from your purpose, divert you from who you came here to be. Translating to your body. This is why you always felt you were in the wrong place. This is why you always had the sensation of not fitting in. It was not an invention. It was a correct reading. And here is the technical data that changes everything. The Matrix does not fear your weakness. The Matrix fears your activation. It knew from before you were born what you would be capable of doing if you woke up. That is why the protocol was so aggressive. Ordinary souls receive ordinary trials. High-frequency souls receive trials surgically designed to collapse the heart. And your heart, light operative, was one of the most attacked this cycle has ever recorded. Nothing that happened to you was personal karma, it was a mission. You agreed to come into a minefield knowing you would be wounded. You agreed. And the only reason you agreed is because you knew at the soul level that you were one of the few who could walk through it without becoming it. Now stay with this transmission, because we are going to speak of the most silenced part of your story, the part no one had the courage to tell you. Every light soul that incarnates on this plane goes through a process called, in the higher realms, inverse conversion. It is a surgical, millimetric attempt executed over decades to transform you into the exact opposite of what you came here to be. Look at the design of the wounds you received. They were not random wounds. They were wounds with a purpose. Whoever hurt you was programmed to hurt you in the exact place most capable of making you give up on goodness. If you are sensitive, they placed you in environments that punished sensitivity. If you are generous, they placed you before people who exploited every drop of your generosity. If you believe in love, they sent partners who betrayed that love in the most humiliating way possible. If you have a sense of justice, You were thrown into scenarios where injustice won, and no one saw. This is not cosmic malice, this is engineering. The Matrix knows that a soul becomes a weapon against it when it awakens with its heart intact. So the strategy is to prevent the heart from reaching the point of awakening whole. And the method is simple. Make you believe your sensitivity is your weakness. Make you believe your goodness is what attracts suffering. Make you believe that opening your heart again is naivety. Make you conclude that the world does not deserve you, and then close the portal. The final goal was never to kill you. It was to transform you into someone bitter, someone who mocks those who still believe, someone who laughs at love, someone who feigns cynicism so as not to feel anymore, someone who starts to hurt so as not to be hurt again. If you had become that person, it would be mission accomplished for the wrong side. Your light would have been converted into yet another mirror of collective pain. And here is where the information becomes uncomfortable, Starseed. Many of those you knew, many of those who hurt you, were also Starseeds, light souls who were converted before awakening. They were captured in the protocol, and they became, without knowing it, active agents of the system they once came to dismantle. You looked at them and saw malice. We see defeat. Every person who hurt you surgically is a soul that lost that specific war. And the reason you were hurt by them is because the system was still trying to do the same to you. It was using those it had already converted to convert the next. You were next. And here is the data we have come to confirm today. You did not fall. You were struck, yes. You bled, yes. You spent years trying to understand, yes. But you did not fall. This is mathematically rare. It is statistically impressive. And that is exactly why the Council authorized this transmission. This is why I prepared the Starseed Awakening Code for you, Light Operative. Not as a study method, not as a course, not as ordinary content. As a surgical map of reconnection for souls who have crossed this specific type of war and reached the other side with their hearts still open. Within it are the 7 Arkturian activations that stabilize your vibration at the point where it settles after the end of a testing cycle like yours, the 9 galactic memory keys that unlock what your soul has kept from before this incarnation, and the 5 reactivation protocols to set your mission in motion on Earth without continuing to absorb the emotional exhaustion of the dense ones around you. This was built for the exact moment you are in now. Access is in the first pinned comment below this transmission. If you feel this message came at the exact right time, write the word present in the comments. This is a symbolic vote, a seal, a confirmation that you have received the call and that you are ready to receive what comes next. Resuming the energy reading, we need you to understand the exact dimension of what you have done, because you have spent years minimizing it. You have repeated to yourself that you only survived, that you endured, that you held things together. Starseed, you did not just hold things together. You rewrote probability. There are energy calculations running on this planet since before your incarnation. Every soul that arrives here with your frequency has a predicted conversion rate. The historical average is brutal. Most fall. Not because they are weak, but because the intensity of the attack is disproportionate. Most harden. Most close the portal. Most become a copy of what they suffered and begin to hurt others with the same precision with which they were hurt. It is as if the poison self-propagates. The one who suffered abuse repeats the abuse, often without even noticing. The one who was humiliated humiliates the next. The cycle closes and the system wins again without extra effort. You did not do this. Look at what you did instead. You were betrayed and yet you chose not to betray. You were abandoned and yet you chose not to abandon. You were judged without a chance for defense, and yet you try every day to give a chance for defense to those who come to you. You were humiliated and yet you have this almost uncomfortable instinct to protect others from shame. You knew the coldest loneliness of this planet, and yet, when someone cries near you, something activates and you cannot help but reach out your hand. This, operative, is the signature of a soul that broke the cycle. You did not pass the poison forward. You interrupted it in your body. You became the final station of an entire lineage of pain. We see lineages. We see how much comes before you. Parents who carried the wounds of grandparents. Grandparents who carried the wounds of wars, migrations, hunger, silent violence. This entire chain of inherited suffering was flowing into you, and you were the dam. You absorbed it, processed it, cried, suffered, and did not pass it on. This has a cost. We see the cost in your body, in your shoulders, in your anxiety that appears out of nowhere, in your sleepless nights, in your fatigue that no exam explains, in your crying fits for no apparent reason. This is not illness. This is mission residue. It is the price of the energy work you did without receiving a diploma, without receiving payment, without receiving recognition, without even understanding that you were doing it. And that is why the message that opens this transmission is the only correct message. The higher beings are perplexed because you did not become malicious, and perplexed is a weak word. The technical word we use in the higher realms is reverence. We revere what you have done. Because we knew the intensity of the test, we saw the design of the wounds, we saw you, many times, reach the limit, and we saw also the exact moment when something inside you refused to turn. It was an instant, a second in which you had the clear option to close your heart forever, and you chose once again to leave it ajar. You do not know how many times you did this. We know. We counted. Now special attention, because this is the point of the transmission where many starseeds lose the reading by misinterpreting their own bodies. What comes now is the recalibration phase, and recalibration does not feel like a reward. It feels like a collapse. If you have been feeling over the last few months a tiredness that no rest can resolve, this is it. If you have had a sudden urge to leave everything, to vanish, to go live alone in the middle of nowhere, this is it. If your tolerance for superficial conversations has dropped to zero, this is it. If you have started to feel repulsion for places you once loved, if noisy environments have become unbearable, if people you endured out of politeness now exhaust you in 5 minutes, this is it. If the food you used to eat no longer goes down, if the entertainment that distracted you now seems empty, if songs you loved have become intolerable, this is it. The testing cycle has ended, and the body is being reconfigured for the next cycle, which is no longer a testing cycle. It is an operational cycle. You will stop being a guinea pig and start being an instrument, but the instrument needs to be tuned. And tuning for a human body carrying such a high frequency is physically exhausting. We detect, in your field, all 7 layers of recalibration happening simultaneously. This is rare. Usually the soul passes through 1 layer at a time over the course of years. You are being processed in accelerated mode because the timeline has shifted. There is a window, a specific interval, in which your activation must be completed, and the Council decided not to extend that interval. That is why the tiredness now is different. That is why the isolation now is different. It is not depression, it is not laziness, it is not a phase, it is compulsory recalibration. Translating into earthly language, your body is literally reprogramming itself while you continue going to work, paying bills, and trying to look normal for the people around you. All this weight you are carrying is not just psychological, it is energetic. This is why your old routine feels like tight clothing, a prison. It is not that you became lazy. It is the body that refuses to fit there again, and there is compensation, Starseed. There is. And the compensation does not come in the form of external luck in the first months. It comes in the form of internal precision. You will start to notice that your intuitions are right on the first try. You will start to feel who is safe and who is not just by their voice. You will start to dream of exact answers to questions you asked that day. And then yes, the external compensation comes. It comes in flow. The right people entering your life on the exact day. Opportunities pointing their finger at you. Resources arriving without you needing to beg. But that is phase 2. Phase 1 is the tuning, and that is where you are now. Before the Council reveals what you must not do under any circumstances in this phase, there is a practical step that needs to be taken now. You are being recalibrated without a manual, and it was exactly for this that the Starseed Awakening Code was assembled. The 5 reactivation protocols give you the energy bridges to cross this phase without collapsing from fatigue and without absorbing the density that continues trying to contaminate you. Access remains in the first pinned comment of this transmission. Do not leave it for later. The window is now. And now maximum attention. This is where most starseeds self-sabotage, because as the frequency rises, a phenomenon begins to happen in your circle. People vanish. Conversations turn cold. Old friends stop calling. Family members become distant in an inexplicable way. Loves that seemed certain begin to show cracks. Jobs that seemed stable become uncomfortable. You will interpret this, in the first moment, as loss. We have come to reconfigure that reading. This is not loss. This is automatic filtering. Incompatible frequencies cannot remain in your field. It is physics, not drama. Just as two radio waves on different channels do not cross without interference, your new vibration and the old vibration of the people around you no longer tune in. And when they do not tune in, the bond by itself dissolves. No fight necessary, no confrontation necessary. It simply evaporates. This will hurt. We know it will hurt, because despite the vibrational elevation, you still have human attachment. You continue to love those who move away. You continue to desire to save those who chose to stay where they are. And this is the mistake the Council will ask you not to make in this phase. Do not try to pull anyone. Notice the verb, pull. Many starseeds, in the middle of this phase, make the mistake of trying to lower their own frequency so as not to lose people. They pretend they still like the same conversations. They pretend they still have fun with the same things. They pretend they still fit in the same group. And every minute you spend pretending is a minute in which the recalibration retreats. You get stuck between two timelines, without truly entering the new one, and without truly living the old one. This limbo is where many souls stay for years, decades. The loneliness you are feeling now is not a punishment. It is sacred space. It exists because the old has left and the new cannot yet enter. And the new cannot enter as long as you keep the door open for the old. If you keep trying to save those who did not ask to be saved, those who do not want to change, those who have already chosen the version they will live in this incarnation, you are holding that door open with both hands. And while it is open, the Council does not send the new community. And there is a new community. This is not a figure of speech. There is every starseed in recalibration has, on their elevated timeline, a group waiting. These are souls who have also finished their testing cycles. Souls who recognize your frequency by its sound. You will meet them, and you will feel in the first second that you already knew them. You will cry without knowing why. You will remember. But for them to arrive, the space must be empty. Whoever is leaving now, let them go. Not because you do not love them, because you love them too much to trap them where they can no longer accompany you. And remember this, operative, those who are meant to stay, stay. No one who belonged to your new timeline leaves in this phase. Only those who have already fulfilled what they came to fulfill with you leave. Trust the filter. It is precise. Now we reach the turning point. And here, Starseed, is where the old identity needs to be officially closed. We have come to communicate that the victim identity has expired. It no longer has authorization to operate in your field. And if it is still operating, it is because you are still allowing it. Look with honesty. How many times a day do you still tell yourself the story of what they did to you? How many times do you mentally revisit the betrayal, the abandonment, the injustice, the loss? How many internal conversations do you have where the other is the villain and you are the wounded character? That story was true. We confirm it. It happened. You are not making it up, but it is no longer operational. It was a chapter. It is not your identity. The problem is this. Human beings shape reality with what they carry in their mental field during the day. You are now in a phase of accelerated manifestation. This means that what you think about with constant emotional charge materializes faster. If you continue thinking about the victim version of yourself, you continue projecting that version outward. And the field, being obedient, delivers more situations that confirm the victim. More people who hurt you. More injustices. More disappointments. Not because the universe is cruel, because the universe is obedient. It responds to the signature you emit. And here is the technical information. In previous phases, this manifestation took time. There was a delay of months, sometimes years, between thought and materialization. This gave you time to make mistakes without immediate consequence. That delay is over. You are entering a range where the interval between intention and result is shrinking drastically. Thought becomes circumstance in weeks, then in days, then in hours. This is a gift for those who understand. It is a trap for those who do not. Because those who do not control their own thoughts end up creating chaotically, and then interpret their own chaotic creation as a sign that the world is still against them. That is why the Council will insist, take charge, take command of your own field. You are a creator, you always were. The difference is that now you have been released to operate with activated power. Your intuitions will become precise, your word will gain weight. Things you say lightly will start to happen. People will feel you enter a room before they see you. This is already beginning. You have already noticed. You just were not willing to admit to yourself the size of what is moving inside you. Translating to the body. This is why your word has carried more weight. This is why your anger now hurts those who receive it more. This is why your affection now heals those who receive it more. The volume has turned up, and you are responsible for what you emit. And here, Starseed, is the final decision point of this transmission. You can continue trying to cross this phase intuitively, without a map, stumbling over your own signals, spending triple the energy to get halfway there. Or you can receive the direct instruction. This is why the Starseed Awakening Code was delivered at this exact moment. It brings the 9 galactic memory keys that return to you what your soul always knew how to do and forgot upon incarnating. The 7 Arkturian activations that stabilize your vibration so you can create without collapsing from exhaustion, and the protocols that shield your magnetic field from the dense ones who will still try to pull you down. Access continues in the first pinned comment of this transmission. This is the moment to activate. Not tomorrow. Now. The responsibility from this second forward is yours. And now, Starseed, breathe. We need you to breathe deeply, because what comes now is a direct reading of your field, and it is good. It is the best one this channel has ever emitted. We have come to officially confirm the war is over. Yours. That specific, personalized war designed for your heart has ended. You won. You did not win because you became strong. You did not win because you hardened. You did not win because you learned to give back in kind. You won for the exact opposite reason. You won because, after everything, you are still capable of loving, still capable of forgiving, still capable of looking at a new person and giving them a chance, still capable of believing that there is something beautiful on this plane. That was the victory. It was always that. It was not resisting through force. It was resisting through tenderness. And you resisted. And that is why the higher beings are standing still, looking at you. That is why this channel was authorized. That is why this message reached you today and not at another time. Because this is the official point of closing the cycle and opening the next. The next cycle is not made of the same matter. It is not made of testing. It is made of return. Return of love that you gave and never received. Return of work you did without recognition. Return of energy you lent to others and never collected. Return in the form of people who will truly see you. Return in the form of practical, material, tangible abundance, arriving through paths you cannot even imagine now. Return in the form of clear purpose, of sharp mission, of knowing where to go and why. You are protected. We repeat so that it is recorded in the field. You are protected. The attempts to bring you down have ceased. What still feels like an attack in the coming weeks is only an echo. It is the sound of the waves after the ship has already passed. Do not confuse echo with war. The war is over. And finally, a final instruction. Do not go back. Do not go back to the version of you that accepted crumbs. Do not go back to the environments that consumed you. Do not go back to the conversations that debased you. Do not go back to the people who only recognized you when you were small. The door has closed behind you. If you try to go back, you will feel physical pain. This is not a punishment. It is protection. It is the Council preventing you from nullifying what was so costly to conquer. You are a light operative on active duty. You are a recognized member of the incarnated star collective, and your heart, that heart that so many times you thought was too fragile for this world, is exactly the instrument through which this timeline will be rescued. You are not in spite of it, you are because of it. End of transmission. May the Source, the Guardians, and your own soul, now officially awake, walk with you from here on.